Welcome to my money diary. I am sharing last month's income and expenditure to show you how much I spent, how much I saved on a minimum wage in the process of buying and selling houses. It's all been a bit crazy. I've had more car drama. You're just not going to believe this. Welcome to Freedom Kitty. My name is Catherine and my plan is to retire early in the next 6 years. And the main way that I'm doing this is by downsizing my house, which I am in the process of at the moment. You can go and watch my last videos if you want to see more of my moving house stuff. I've also recorded another video on all of my early retirement finances, the exact plan, where the money is going to come from and how it's going to grow in the next 6 years, hopefully. I'm going to be doing one of these videos every single month. At the start, I thought I was going to be sharing 4 financial related insights every month, but now I think I'll just do 2. I think I'll do one, which is my income and expenditure and my sinking fund. A sinking fund is planned spending, saving in advance. And I think I'll do another video showing my net worth and how my investments are doing. I'll give you a quick update on the moving house drama. The stage we're up to at the moment is the house that we're selling is going slowly as planned, ticking along. The house that we're buying, I've just got the results from my own survey that I did, and it was so long. If you've ever done a house survey before, when you get the results, it can send you into an absolute panic because there is so much stuff on there that needs fixing. But when I remember back to the first house that I ever bought on my own, there was so much expensive and urgent things on there that compared to that, I actually didn't think the survey was too bad, despite it being like a book of information of everything that was wrong with the house. I started to send it off to builders to get some quotes for it, and they actually said the same thing as me, that although there was a lot on there, none of it was really urgent. And it was one of the best surveys that they've ever seen, especially for an older house. This house is an old terrace house built in the early 1900s, and you would expect there to be a lot of things on there. But the builder said this is just general wear and tear and it's not too bad at all. So there are things that we probably will fix. We might see if we can get a reduction on the price, but the price of the house was already heavily discounted anyway, so it wouldn't really bother me either way. And I really don't think these things are too urgent, so I'll probably leave most of them. So let's dive into my numbers, my income and expenditure, my budget, how I stuck to my budget, and then go on to the sinking fund, which is, as per usual, where all the drama happens. And I'm also going to show you my house sinking fund as well, because I have another sinking fund for my house now. So let's start by having a look at my income and expenses tracker, and then we'll move on to having a look at the sinking fund. I'm actually really loving having my sinking fund separate to my income and expenses tracker, because I used to have these all rolled into one, and I used to put everything that was in my sinking fund would be in my monthly finance tracker. But then what happens is it always looks like you've gone over budget because you don't have a place to allocate how much money you've got in your sinking fund, or at least I didn't. So now that I've separated this has actually made me feel so good about my finances, because I can just look at my sinking fund and think, how much have I saved for this? I have a budget for it. It's okay. I might have gone over budget. If I'd have put everything into my monthly finance tracker, I probably would have gone over budget that month. But because I've already got money saved that I put away every single month, then it's all fine. So I keep my monthly regular expenses very tight, very controlled. And I can't believe I didn't do this earlier. So it means that there's not much drama that goes on in the income and expenses tracker. And a sinking fund is actually a really good name for it, because you know when you have those large expenses that give you that sinking feeling and they just make your heart sink? Well, they all go on in the sinking fund. You don't need to worry about that as part of your monthly income, as long as you've got the sinking fund in the first place. So I will show you an example. So let's run through very quickly what's been going on in the income and expenses tracker this month. So the salary is looking quite good this month. I'm still on minimum wage. I'm not being taxed at the moment, so my salary is higher than it would be normally, 1,860. But my business actually made some money. It made some profit, which was fantastic. So I did take that out in profit. So I actually took out £264 from my business. I put away some of the money in tax. And that was a really good feeling, because I worked really, really hard to get my business expenses down to the point where I should really be making some kind of profit, as long as I keep on making more money than I spend. So that's a really nice feeling. I got my child benefit, £173. The kid's dad paid the child maintenance, £236. My partner contributes towards half of the bills. So although I pay almost all of the bills, he gives me half of the money for them. I sold some IKEA baskets and made £40, so that was very nice. And I actually made £75.61 in bank interest, which is absolutely amazing. I actually got an annual payment for bank interest for a savings account that I'd been using in the last year, and I didn't even realise that they hadn't paid me interest. I wasn't really tracking my interest and everything as tightly as I am now, so I didn't even realise that my interest was due on that account. And although I don't even have any money in it, I just saw, oh, it's got £14.77 in that account. Where did that come from? Oh, it's interest. That's a pretty nice feeling. And I've also made £55.52 from my Trading 212 cash ISA. At the moment, I have a cash ISA, and this is going to disappear very quickly because I also have a stocks and shares ISA in Vanguard. I've been saving very slowly into my investments because I don't really have a lot of spare money at the moment until the house is sold. But what I do have is a lot of money that's allocated to housing costs. And I'm going to do a separate video on that to show you my net worth and all the money that's currently in all of my accounts. But because I've got this money allocated to paying for house deposits and house moving costs, and it's just sat there, it's in this easy access savings account. I don't want to lock it away in investments because it's going to be spent within the next few months. So that's a pretty nice amount of interest to make. So all in all, I got a total income of £3,399. My fixed expenditure remained pretty similar. I'm paying for half the mortgage. It's on a variable rate at the moment, £750, went down from last month, which is nice. Council tax, £214, water, £50, gas and electric, the highest it will probably be for the whole year, £197. It's been freezing lately and we've been in the house a lot, so I know that next month's payment is going to be less, which is nice. TV licence, £15. Broadband and TV package. My partner wanted Sky, but we are actually going to get rid of this soon because they've increased the prices, and as part of that they've said that we can actually cancel the membership, and my partner's realised he's not really watching Sky as he thought he would, so we're going to reduce this and save money, which is fantastic. I pay £26 a month to the Den plan because I've got a lot of teeth problems, and this actually saves me money because it includes all dental prices. Gym membership, £34 a month. I do use it. I go 3 times a week. £4.95 for my rolling monthly contract. I get enough data, all my text, all my calls included in £4.95. Can't go wrong. My children earn pocket money for doing chores, for keeping their bedroom tidy and doing cleaning. £16 to my daughter, £20.50 to my son. Now let's move on to the variable expenditure. My budget for food shopping is £600, and in February I managed to be well under budget, £525, which is pretty good because I went over budget in January because there was 5 weeks in that month, only 4 shopping weeks in February, and I'm pretty happy with that. My car fuel was well under budget as well. More car drama coming up in a bit. My personal budget, this is like pocket money for myself. This is what I allocate towards clothing, £50 a month. I tend to buy in bulk. I absolutely hate shopping, which is great for my budget. When I do my shopping, I tend to get it in one big batch because I think if I'm doing this job, I don't want to do it more than once or twice a year. So I tend to get a lot of stuff in the process. I decided I needed some new clothes, especially because I've got a new hobby, which is rock and roll dancing. I go to these dances once a month where everybody wears these really fancy 1950s, you could call them costumes, but they're dresses. The women look fantastic, and I feel like I should or want to dress up, and I really love the 1950s look. So I've decided I'm going to spend a little money on buying a few new clothing items. I do pretty much all of my clothing shop in Shein. And I know some people might have a problem with this. I have had periods in my life where I've gone to charity shops, but I've seen the prices in the charity shops for clothing, and to me, it's astronomical. To me, it's the same price as going to Shein. And I know if I buy my clothes in charity shops, it's not going to last as long. It's already worn, it already looks old, it's already faded. So I do tend to buy from Shein. I've started buying things from Shein But to me, it's like paying money to try things on and then I have to send it back for a refund. So that's how I tend to do it. So I have not allocated the money at the moment because I'm still in the process of waiting for deliveries, deciding what I want and sending it back. So when I know how much I've actually spent, then I'll be able to log it in Marches. But at the moment, all I've bought is some white baseball boots for rock and roll dancing because they fit my feet. I've got extremely wide feet. Dainty shoes do not fit my feet. Baseball boots are naturally wide, and these are perfect for rock and roll dancing because they're flat on the bottom and you do a lot of spinning. And I'm only going to wear the white ones for a dance to preserve their whiteness. I tend to pay more money on my shoes than anything else because of my foot problem. My feet are an absolute nightmare to do shopping for, which is another reason I really hate shopping. I feel like my body is just awkward and nothing really fits me properly, so it takes me a long time, trial and error, to find things that actually fit. For my entertainment, I allocate £100 a month, and I can't believe I was under budget again, which is very unusual for me. And look how many things I've done to entertain myself. I've done my rock and roll dancing lessons, I've been to rock and roll dances, I've met friends in Costa for a coffee, I've been to the pub, had drinks, paid for other people to have drinks, another drink with a friend, another coffee with a friend. So I have a great social life and I hardly spend any money because I don't drink alcohol. Health and personal care, bought myself a pack of 4 lip balms and didn't go to the hairdresser. Attempted to dye it myself, picked the wrong shade, not happy with the shade of my hair, but I'm just going to wait a couple of months, go back to the hairdresser and hopefully they can fix it. And I put £459 into my sinking fund that I will go through in a minute. I saved money towards all these various things: children's pot, TV subscriptions, home insurance, saving for a new car, car tax, car insurance, car MOT and service, car repairs, birthdays, Christmas, holidays, and miscellaneous. I put a small amount into my investments because I'm in the process of moving house, so I don't want to pay too much into my investments at the moment, because I don't know how much I'm going to need for my house moving costs. So I'm only paying 100 into my SIP and 100 into my cash stocks and shares ISA. So I only spent just over £2,000 in February, which I think is fantastic. But I also allocated about £500 to the sinking funds. That takes it to 2,500, and also £200 to investments. So I put money, £2,700 worth of money in various places. So I received £3,399, spent £2,700 on various things, and that gave me a surplus of £654, which is fantastic. I might have allocated that to investment if I wasn't moving house, but at the moment every penny counts. So let's move on to the sinking fund. This is where all of the drama happens. Some good news though. I actually got the tax rebate from HMRC. After having to phone them up and spending about an hour on the phone, they told me that I am no longer self-employed, and they decided that I wasn't self-employed even though my accountant has been submitting these tax returns every single year for my business and personal tax returns. They still decided that 2 years ago I was not self-employed anymore. They didn't bother to tell me, and they said I wasn't eligible for my tax rebate because I wasn't self-employed. I said I am still self-employed. I've got a full-time job and I'm still self-employed. I still have my business. They put me back as self-employed, so I've got to re-register again. I don't know why they would decide to just randomly do that without even asking me first. And I'm not sure if I can avoid them doing it again. So finally, they did actually give me my tax back. It's a different story when you owe them tax, and when they owe you tax, you have to jump through a million hoops to try and get it back. So everything else was saved as normal. So at the start of the month, I only had 2,300 in my sinking fund. And now, thankfully, I'm back to 4,500, or it's gone up from what it was last month, which is fantastic. I'm so grateful for that tax rebate because goodness knows where I would have been without that. I spent a little bit of money on the kids, £54 came out of the children's pot. And I've actually had more car drama. I'm just getting to the point where I feel like people are just not going to believe me because it's just been in the garage so many times. It's just getting to the point of ridiculousness. So after my car being in the garage breaking down 4 times in January, well, between the end of December and January, costing me £2,000 in January, I thought that was finally the end of all the drama. But no, of course, it had to go and break down yet again. So it was back in the garage again. and they told me that it was the battery. As suspected, I did think it was going to be the battery. The first garage had said that the battery needed to be replaced because they kept on having to charge it up. They didn't do it. The second garage didn't seem to notice that the battery needed to be replaced, so I was hoping that it didn't, but then it turns out it did. Another £180 for a new battery. Since then, I would love to say that the car has been brilliant, but it does not feel right. My brakes were grinding really loudly, and as somebody kindly said in the comments on my last video, if you've not used your car for a while, the brakes can start this grinding noise, and it hadn't been used because it had been in the garage for like 5 weeks. And thankfully my brakes have stopped grinding now, which is brilliant. But to drive my car, it just still doesn't feel right. When I'm turning the steering wheel, it feels so heavy. It feels like something is pulling on the steering wheel, like a massive big weight, and it's really hard to turn the wheel. It just feels like it's going to die again. I just don't trust it. I really need a new vehicle. When the house sells, when I get the money, I will be getting a new vehicle. Birthdays, spent £20 on gifts and cards. Now, holidays, I don't really book any weeks away at the moment. I like lots of mini breaks, or as many mini breaks as I can afford, and it's not many at the moment because I'm only allocating £50 a month, £600 a year to my holiday fund. So I'm not expecting to go away very much. But in February and March, we're actually going away a couple of times, or we've been away once already. The first holiday was pretty much a last minute thing. My partner was already going away dancing for the weekend in Exeter. That's very close to where the kids' dad lives, so he offered to take them on the train, and then I said I would come as well, and he said he'd already paid for his hotel, so I might as well come with him as well. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do this again because it ended up being quite expensive, even though I didn't pay for most of it. I spent £113 just on random meals, drinks, snacks, that kind of thing, as you do when you go away. It's very expensive eating out. And this is without even any alcohol because I don't drink alcohol. So I'm probably not going to agree to that kind of thing unless it's planned a bit more in the future. But next month we do have something that's been planned for a very long time. My best friend lives in Cumbria, so her and her family and me and my family are going to meet her halfway in an Airbnb for 3 nights. I don't like driving long distance. I don't drive on motorways, so we are going on the train. So I've paid for a train ticket to Birmingham for 4 people. It's been £100, so I've paid for that in advance. I think that's a pretty good deal because we got quite a cheap ticket in advance. Next month I'll have to pay for the accommodation. It's self-catering, so hopefully it won't be too expensive when I'm there, but these things do tend to add up quite a lot. Then I've got some random miscellaneous stuff. I'm not sharing a lot of money into my miscellaneous every month, £600, and I've spent quite a lot of this budget already in February, which is not good going. I bought some battery packs for phones and all kinds of different things, some very small ones. I've got a heated vest and I put these very small battery packs in them. My daughter's now got one, so I wanted more of these battery packs. So they're just generally very useful to have around the house, very lightweight for carrying around. I got a good deal. I think I got 3 of them for £22. That's pretty good. I also smashed my other water flosser when I was tidying the house for a viewing by dropping it onto the floor. So I bought another one, exactly the same one again at £15. It's the cheapest one I could find. It's been going great for years and years. So why not buy the same one again? I do 4 kinds of flossing a day. I really take care of my teeth, so this is really important to me. I bought this thing called a Pluxee card, which is a prepayment card, which is supposed to save you money on various retailers like Asda. I'm actually trying to get a refund. It's been annoying me at the moment because I bought this card, I paid £5 for a top-up. I thought that I could do a part payment in Asda. It failed. I couldn't do a part payment. I've been trying to use it in conjunction with this other discount scheme, which is called Charity Workers Discount or Discount for Carers, of which I am both. And I just can't get it to work properly, so I thought I'd cancel the whole thing. The Pluxee card said it had been over 14 days, they wouldn't give me a refund on the card, so I'm complaining about that, see if I can get a refund on that. Then I bought some glasses. I've been having a bit of trouble with glasses recently. A few years ago I bought some new glasses and I still couldn't use them for driving because although I could see for long distance, I couldn't see anything inside the car. Everything close to me was blurry. I had a feeling I needed varifocals, but they told me last time they were no good for driving, so that pretty much wasted my money last time. So I thought, I'm going to invest again. I really do need these to be safe driving, so I'm going to have to buy some glasses. I bought 2 for £350. I spent a lot of money on the varifocals because it's made it nice and clear and very good for driving. I'll try and put a photo in here of what they look like. I really like them. This has gone under my miscellaneous fund because I'm really hoping that I won't have to replace these. I might have to, but my eyesight doesn't tend to change that much. The prescription has remained fairly static, so I'm going to see how long I can get away with keeping these for. I got 2 glasses, one was normal glasses and one was sunglasses. So if I have to buy them again, they'll probably come out of miscellaneous again. I really don't want to set a budget for glasses because I really don't want to buy them again. So all in all, I did spend quite a lot of money on my sinking fund this month. I spent £862, only put in £500. So that is still a deficit. But it doesn't look like a deficit because I paid in that £1,800 from the tax. So the previous amount in my sinking fund was £2,100. Now I've got £2,300, spent £800. In a surplus of £1,492 because of the extra money I got. The total now in the sinking fund is £3,648, which is okay, but it's not brilliant. Now I thought I'd show you this other part of my sinking fund that I actually had last month but didn't show you. I've actually got a sinking fund for the house as well. I have got £15,000 already in my house fund that I have decided I'm putting in there. I got £10,000 transferred as per my divorce for moving costs, and I've allocated £5,000 of my own money to housing costs. So far in January, I spent £300 on the solicitor for the buying process. I also spent £200 on the selling process, but I'm getting that back, so I've not logged it on this sheet. I also spent £11 paying for recorded postage. And then in February, I paid my mortgage broker £495 and paid £500 for surveys, £100 through the bank, which sped up my mortgage application, and £400 on the house survey, which I organised myself, and I found this at a discount. So far, I've spent £1,306 on moving costs this year, and this is just going to keep going up and up and up. I've also got this other part of the spreadsheet, which is for mortgage payments. And this is so that me and my partner can keep a track of what we've put into the house to make everything fair. Because I'm planning on putting in £10,000 initially, and he's planning on putting £70,000 initially. And this is because we are probably going to be buying before we're selling, which will make the amount of deposit less than we planned. We both planned to put £60,000 into the house, so I'm just keeping a track of it, which will make the mortgage payments more expensive than planned. The mortgage payments were only supposed to be about £500, but because we've reduced the deposit, that means that the mortgage is going to be higher. So I'm going to be paying more of the mortgage than he is because I've put less of a deposit in initially. I would overpay the mortgage as much as I could, 10% in each year, but it's not worth it at the moment because I'm getting more money in my bank interest rates than I am paying in the mortgage. So it's making me more money by keeping that deposit in my bank, so I'm paying a higher mortgage rate at the moment. So that's what we will do as soon as we move into the house. And at the moment I've got myself a little tally for how much I'm spending on my clothing. I spent £228 on 2 separate orders, then I spent £307 on 2 separate orders. So I spent over £500, but I am returning quite a lot of this. So this is just an ongoing tally, and then I'm going to put how much I've actually spent once I've done all the returns. And once I've bought some clothes, I probably won't go shopping for a long time because I really don't like it. So what did you think of those income and expenditures? Is there anywhere that I could be saving money? Is there anything that you think I shouldn't be doing? Any ideas that I've given you? I would love to know in the comments below. Do you have a sinking fund? How do you manage your sinking fund? Does it look similar to my sinking fund? And I want to thank you so much for being a supporter and a follower of Freedom Kitty. It really means the world to me. Have an amazing week. I'll see you soon. Take care.